Hi there, artists. So I'm going to be showing you how we're going to start our clay project. So clay, remember, is a natural material. It comes from nature. All clay is tiny little rocks and water. It's basically kind of like mud. You find it around creeks and stuff. So we are going to create a form today, and then after we leave our form to dry and harden and it's completely dried out, then I'm going to take your dried out piece of clay and I'm going to do something called fire it in the kiln. Fire is like cooking and the kiln is like the oven. So when I fire it in the kiln, it's going to get really, 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 really hot, and then it's going to make your project hard and much sturdier. So the way we're going to start is you are going to get a chunk of clay each, and then there'll be a chunk of clay at your table to share for later. We are going to start by making a pinch pot. Before we can start making a pinch pot, there's something very important we have to do with our clay. It's called wedging. To wedge your clay, hold your clay like a fist, like a ball-ish shape in the middle of your hand, and you are going to push and then rotate it to keep it in a ball-ish shape, not a pancake, and squish. So you're going to turn and squish, not making a pancake, keeping it in a ball-ish shape, about 5 times. Again, this is called wedging. Wedging pops any trapped air bubbles in your clay project because trapped air can end up ruining your project when it goes into the kiln. Again, the kiln is like that oven. Okay, guys, to start a pinch pot, I'm going to form my thing into a sphere-ish shape. It's not going to be perfect because the clay is too big to make a perfect sphere. Take your thumb, stick it into the clay. We've already practiced pinch pots. Then you're going to take your other 4 fingers and it's like they're having a battle against your thumb. So push and turn, 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 and you're just making a little pot. Be careful. You don't want the edges to get very skinny. You want the edges to be about as thick as your pinky. All right, so I can keep pushing and turning, and when you're happy with your pot shape, you can tidy it up to make it look nice. Now, what you do with your little pinch pot is going to be up to you. In this example, I made it into an animal, and there's going to be a lot of different examples that you could do. So the pinch pot's actually this way. I could turn it so that the pinch pot sits this way, and I can make a different type of animal. Again, there's all these different shapes here that you can use. Or I could try something else. So I'm actually going to make another little animal though, but this time I'm going to have the pot this way. So using that extra pieces of clay, I need to make other forms. So you could think about what you want to create. Again, try not to have anything too skinny. I like to use my pinky as a guide. I'm making some triangle-ish shapes that I might use as ears. I'm going to try to make 2-ish. Thank you for your patience. Okay, guys, to get something to stick on, there's a lot to learn today. You cannot just place it here. It's going to stick now, but when it dries, it will fall off. So we have to do something called score and slip. To score, use any tool in your toolbox. And scoring means scratching. I'm scratching where I'm going to put them, and I'm scratching where else, or where it's going to be stuck on there. And then you need to slip, which is water with dried clay. Take your finger, boop, 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 boop. Notice it's just a finger. And then I can stick it and take my time to really try to smooth it. I need to add slip on the other side. Score and slip. It's very important. Okay, that looks great. Now, I need to think, do I want to build a face or do I like it just like this and I can paint a face later? So I don't need to sculpt eyes, I can paint eyes later. But maybe I'll make a snout. I don't really know what kind of animal I'm even making. Make another triangle piece. And I can add that on by score, which means scratch, and slip. So I can keep adding on. And the last thing we're going to need to do is put our names on our art. If we didn't have our names on our art, we're going to get really confused as to whose is whose. So I'm going to continue to play with my little sculpture by building forms and then making sure I score and slip them on, thinking about if I want to sculpt details or paint details. And I'm going to make sure that I either scratch my initials in the bottom or have Miss Langdon make sure that my initials are scratched by the end of art. All right, everybody, Miss L, happy arting today.